But, it kind of going off of Fox, one of the things that's interesting about Fox is you have not seen him let up from having to plead his case to the refs, game in and game out. Even as he was, from start to finish, he had one of those games where from the beginning he was great, and at the very end, to the end, he was great. Really nice game there in that second game in Minnesota. Yet through it all, he's constantly, telling people, I'm getting hit. And he timeouts, people at the free throw line, he's talking. He's constantly pleading his case. The official conversation is kind of like, in terms of officiating, has always been a conversation this season. Minnesota, and we bring up the situations like after that one Laker game where they gave that beneficial call to Schroeder, who even said, like, that's not a call I typically get. And then Fox didn't get the call on the half-court shot where it looked like Westbrook made contact with his arm. That kind of seemed like a new peak in kind of the tension between De'Aaron Fox and the officials. But it kind of seems more like a Kings issue again after Jaden McDaniels. I don't want to mix him up with Jalen McDaniels.
Are they brothers?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure. We could look it up, but I don't think they are.
It's funny. Just to
go ahead.
Do a side topic. When you were talking about this guy Jalen McDaniels, I thought it was Jaden McDaniels this whole time. Because wasn't Jaden McDaniels?
He's not on the T-Wolves anymore.
What? Wasn't he on the Rockets, or is that Jalen McDaniels?
Yeah, I think now I'm mixing them up.
Now I'm mixing them up too. No, well, I guess he's only ever been on Minnesota.
Yeah, and I think the other McDaniels has only ever been on Charlotte.
And who the hell am I thinking of?
I don't know. Josh McDaniels, coach of the Raiders.
Yeah, he has. Okay, anyway.
Well, you add the element of like Domas kind of getting into it.
They are brothers, though.
They are?
Yeah.
What the hell do I know? What the hell do I know? Okay, they are. That kind of makes sense.
I mean, come on.
They're lanky guys.
A one-letter difference in their name. How aren't they?
Well, freaking the Thunder.
The two that is weird. Jalen Williams.
Yeah, I didn't say this after the Thunder game, but I was really bullish on Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara for the Kings. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, you were.
I was really kind of big on him, and I'm very happy to see what he's doing at OKC.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we lost Holmgren. It's like, you still got your other first-round pick who's killing it.
Yeah.
Looks like De'Aaron Fox. That fucking hair.
I know. So I feel like both of those guys have the big hair, though.
Huh?
Jalen.
Yeah, they both have.
Yeah.
They both have the. My mom was at that game, and she texted me, are they brothers on the OKC Thunder?
It's like Donovan and Davion Mitchell are brothers.
That's right. But the thing with the officials, it kind of reached a new peak in terms of, maybe not a new peak, but it's another milestone in terms of the disgruntlement between the Sacramento Kings, Mike Brown, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox, and the officials. After that McDaniels happy feet moment.
Yeah, I mean,
which was way different. I think that was way different than the Hero one, because Hero was the ball handler the whole time, and he was like, was that kind of like a sidestep three that he did it?
Yeah, it was. It was like a pivot foot, like picked up.
Again, it's like one of those things where it's just like that one doesn't like this one. I'll put it this way: the one on Monday night was pretty blatant.
Yeah,
because it's like. One is Tyler Hero. You try to market that guy. At least you have an argument for the bullshit. This one, it's like, who traveled before the ball and hit it? It's like they almost didn't expect him to hit it.
And like watching it, I couldn't tell as like I didn't think he. I mean, I'm not.
I didn't see it. I
didn't see it. Yeah, right. I didn't. See
I
it
saw
off the
the
top of my
bench
head.
react, and I saw the chick with the half shirt sweatshirt go, "What the hell?"
But like they showed the replay, I'm like, how do you miss that? Like his whole left foot was like, it was almost like the Chris Webber technical foul. Mm-hmm. And it's like just totally dragged it.
Yeah.
Like it kind of came up off the ground because he couldn't stop. So, I mean, I think these are two different scenarios though, where you're talking about with Fox and even Sabonis kind of complaining to the refs and then the late game calls not going the Kings' way. I'm still under the fact that if you listen to this podcast long enough, that I get annoyed with Fox and Sabonis complaining to the refs that much. Like, I get it. Fouls happen. A lot of people complain. But I don't think they're helping their case. And like I think you made a point where I think Sabonis said that. It's like, all right, maybe we should be nice to the refs.
And that happened. I was struggling to find the clip of it. It was some shoot around after shoot around. I just couldn't find the clip.
No,
I've been looking for the last month.
I remember. Yeah, I remember watching it too. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like one Sabonis. Sabonis gets banged around a lot. I agree, and I think they both get banged around a lot. And I think they can both get more foul calls, of course.
Yeah.
And they should, right? But it's like, I don't know. It's like it's the NBA. You're not going to get every call. You're not going to, and especially a guy like Fox, who's a guy who makes a living in the paint as a 6'3" guy, and same with Sabonis, who's a bruiser, who's going to, of course, he's going to draw contact. He's bodying guys up.
Leading rebounder. He's always in there.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm never a fan. It kind of maybe it just brings me back to watching Boogie just whine to the refs after everything. It's like to a point where it's like play the game. And like after Fox like points out his elbow after a made shot, like every play doesn't get a foul, especially when he makes it too. Like they're probably gonna call it if you miss it. And that's just kind of how the NBA is officiated.
That's fair. The late calls.
Late calls happen.
They sometimes do go De'Aaron Fox's way. He gets maybe one or two a game.
He does. And I'm not saying it's right, but that's how the way the NBA is officiated. If it goes in, it's a 50-50 call. It's like, you're not going to get it. But if you miss it, you'll probably get it. It's like, just get back on defense.
It's the question you could ask too is just like the pleading. What has that gotten you?
Exactly.
And I was talking to my old man the other day about, because he was like, I was watching a basketball game. And he's just like, nobody plays defense anymore, And it's just, he was talking about that, and he was talking about the officiating. He was like, all these people were complaining about the officiating and all this stuff. He asked me, he's like, do you think NBA officials, like, are they consistent? And I'd say like, they're not really consistent. They try to be consistent. I think everything balances out in the end. But one of the things that I ended up kind of like, after rambling for 5 minutes, I came to the conclusion, I'm like, think about all the other officials in sports. Like football, they get these officiating crews that do one game a week. Like they're very centered on what's going on in that game. It's just that, 60 minutes of play that they got to focus on. Baseball, you got these crew chiefs that hang around in the same town for 3 or 4 nights, and they're switching positions and what they're doing. And it's just, it's bite size. You're able to digest your work at that point, for lack of a better way of putting it. But it's like basketball. It's, first of all, that's one of the harder sports to officiate.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's like schizophrenic fast. The way it's so fast. And you're kind of bouncing around from city to city. I know that I think if a team plays twice in the same city, sometimes they'll use the same officiating crews. I might be wrong about that, but these guys are bouncing around and whatnot. It's kind of a tough job. I'm not taking away from the fact that it's like there needs to be some kind of accountability for bad calls. I don't think they need to be fined. That kind of goes against my ethics. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I guess it comes down to, what are you achieving by getting in these refs' face? It's like, we're not getting in their face, but by complaining all the time. Because it's just like, there's a lot of times where it's like the Kings have a game where like it's like that, and then in the next game, things just go their way.
Yeah.
And it's even like, I was watching that Monday game, and it's like, even with Domas, it's like when he got blocked by Gobert, he got blocked by Gobert. We could just say that. He got blocked. Although it was, they ended up calling the foul, so the block didn't count. Because Gobert ended up with the 0 in the block column. But, Domas was like, I got hit in the face. It's like, yeah, but you clocked him even harder. Like,
exactly.
So it's like, they're not always, of course they're going to be angry. I mean, with Domas especially, it's like, things will escalate to a certain point if he really feels like it's not going his way. And the one where he immediately, eventually bursted on the refs. It looked like he got fouled twice, both on the shot attempt and the rebound attempt. But it's just like, these guys are kind of like in their zone. They're not really taking into account all the outside factors. And I guess I want to lead all of this to a certain point. We were just talking about Fox being a potential all-star. If both of these guys are all-stars and they get past the all-star break, if there's not a change after that,
that's a good point.
That's when you really start to get angry.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
So, I mean, like, if they're all-stars, it'd be interesting to see if things change. And, I mean, I don't know. I would imagine it would. I would hope it would.
You would hope it would, especially for Fox. Fox.
Yeah, and another thing my dad and I were talking about. He's like, we both agreed. It's like the NBA has always given special, privileges essentially and special leeway, extra long leashes to their stars. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
Like
course.
how many times has Larry Bird pushed off guys and never gotten called? So still one of my favorite players ever for that reason, but Larry Legend. But it's definitely interesting. But it's just like when people are like, the refs need to get fired, they need to get fined, the game's rigged, everybody's against the Kings, it's a written script, all this stuff. I'm like, the only argument you can make is they want to maybe push ratings and push drama, but other than that, I don't really think there's much.
Yeah, everyone complains about the refs. Like I at the end of the day,
you heard Minnesota going off saying refs suck.
Exactly, and like at the end of the day, the Tyler Hero travel, the Jaden McDaniels travel, and the Klay Thompson foul on Herter, like those are inexcusable. Like those should not, like especially like blatant plays. Hero maybe a little less than the other two, but like blatant.
Yeah, the other ones were. I forgot about that Klay Thompson one.
Exactly, like those should be called. Like the Fox and Sabonis, like that's going to happen every game. That's Fox and Sabonis' game. They're going to get pissed when a foul's not called. That's just how it's going to happen. They're going to get hit in the arm, and we saw LeBron how he reacted.
I was just going to bring that up.
It's not like it's just the Kings. It happens to every team. Everyone just wants to think it's us against the refs tonight. Like, and it happens sometimes, but. I mean, it's not like the Kings haven't been in fortune of missed calls.
I would say, though, that it's interesting that the Kings have never sparked a national conversation, but LeBron bitches once, and it's a national conversation.
And they're like the NBA refs official Twitter account.
They tweet out an apology.
It's going to be sleepless nights.
Yeah, it's just like, shut your mouth. Don't give me that. That's stupid. But it does beg the question of, in late game moments, where things are on the line, and maybe not in the regular season, but come playoff time. I heard Matt George and Kevin John on ABC 10 visiting my mom here, so I get to watch the local Sacramento news. And these guys were bringing up a good question. It's like, come playoff time, it's like those high stakes. I mean, they got to come up with something. And this league, and as well with all leagues, have implemented replay and whatnot. You want to get it right. You're doing that because you want to get it right.
Exactly.
And it's like at those high stake moments, like, I don't know what the answer is, but they've got to come up with something. And maybe not in the regular season, but something. And then also the question comes up, because I was kind of noting it, and I don't want to like gain sympathy for the refs, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But maybe they need to hire more officials. Does there need to be a fourth official on the floor, part of a crew? I don't know. I mean,
maybe.
I just think all options need to be considered, because it's an interesting argument.
It is.
But it's kind of a complex conversation there. It kind of started with Fox.
I know.
Fox, we're talking league-wide.